Alright, so let's talk about transformations. That means changes. Okay, so what if we're changing? Now, what's going to change? Okay, this is the kind of equation we have, not the squared, we just have lines. Alright, so let's label this as A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Okay? So, my question is, which is steeper? Okay, that's my question. So, let's talk about what is steep. Steep is how inclined, how shifted a line is. Okay? Let me give you some examples. So, this, okay, is extremely the most steep. Okay? That's super. This is not steep, like nothing. That is not steep at all. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay? So the more it is going this way, okay, that means the more steep it is. So let's look at A and B. So which one do you think is steeper? Yeah, probably A. Okay? Now let's look at C and D. C and D is a little bit harder. Okay? So what do we do to figure out which one is steeper in this case? Because you're going to get to some that it might be negative and positive, and you don't know which one is steeper. Okay? Because you're not facing the same direction. So here's what we can draw. We can draw something like this.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? Alright? So let's call this right here time. And let's call this money. Okay? So the more inclined it is on this problem right here, it means that it took us this amount of time to make this much money. It took us about this much time to make this much money. So which one happened faster? Which one was more steep? This one, right? Because we made this amount of money over this amount of time. Okay, so that would be my steeper one. So I'm using this to measure it. Now, you've seen this triangle before, okay? When we measure this over this, the vertical over the horizontal, that has a name. That's called slope. So, we use slope to know exactly the measure of steepness. We use it to measure steepness. It tells us exactly how steep it is. Okay? So what we do is we don't look at the sign.
ABC.
Yeah. Give me a minute. The bigger the slope, the more steep it is. You're going to have to wait. Give me like 2-3 minutes because I can't pause this, otherwise it really messes up. Alright, so let's do an example real quick. Y equals 4x plus 2, and let's do y equals negative 5x plus 2. Okay, so I have to get the slope, and so here's what I do. I squiggly the x, circle the, I circle the y. I underline the one that doesn't have x or y, squiggly, underline. So my m is 4, my m is negative 5. But I don't look at the negative, so I'm just going to write 5. So from 4 to 5, is that getting bigger or smaller? That's bigger. 4 to 5 is getting bigger, so it's more steep. It's steeper. Okay? Now, if you forgot what I just said about the bigger it is, if you can't figure out the slope, if it's hard, no worries. Our calculator can help us out. So go to New Document, go to the Graphs. Okay? And we're going to type in both equations. 4x plus 2. Alright, and I press tab to get the other one. Negative 5x plus 2. So, if you can't see it like that, alright, that's when we use this. Okay? So again, we don't look at the sign, so instead of putting in a -5, I'm typing in a +5. So you can see, you can zoom out or you can move your graph. I just pressed until I got this little hand, so now I can move it down, and I can see the red one, which is this one, is more this way. Okay, so it's more steep. Okay. So I'll do a couple more examples of that in just a second. Alright, so what if they give you something like this? And these are fractions, okay? What if they're fractions and you don't know which one is bigger? Okay, because those are the ones you have squiggly. I don't know which one's bigger. Well, here's what you can do. You can go to calculator. So add a new document, go to the calculator, and type them in. 1 divided by 3, control enter because I want a decimal, and 2 over 7, control enter, I get 2.8, and this one is 33. So this one is going from big to small, so that would be smaller, that would be less steep. Okay, pretend that is hard and you forget to put this in the calculator and get decimals, okay? Then I do something different. I put them into graphs. Okay? I can just put them into graph. 1 divided by 3x. Press tab to get the other one. 2 divided by 7x. Okay? And so I'm going to again move over here, press until I get the little hand. And blue is more inclined this way. So that means that this one, okay, is more steep than this one. So from here to there, it's less steep. Okay, this with the red one is less steep. Okay. All right. So what about the y-intercept? Now, the y-intercept. Oh no. I almost thought it was going to come back on. The y-intercept is the point on the y-axis. Okay, so it's these numbers, all right? You start with 0, then you go to 1 and 2, and you go up. It's bigger. These numbers are smaller. So here's what we do. If it's smaller, then it goes down. If it's bigger, it goes up. Okay, so whatever the y-intercept is, so let's do this example. Y equals 1/3 x plus 5. Y equals -2 minus 4. You do look at the sign. Okay, so I squiggly, underline, squiggly, underline. I'm looking at the ones I underline, okay? So from 5 to -4, you're at 5 up here, and you go down to -4. That would be going down. That would be shifting down.